service tight end we want to hear. You're a 3-down tight end. Full service tight end, you like getting on the end of that line and knocking somebody around?
It's not the best part about football. I like catching the ball better, but I'm definitely willing and able to do that. I'll be doing that at the next level as well.
Who else could it be? Me, your man, Louie T. Welcome to the 2018 NFL Draft Prospects 101 series, your guide to some of the biggest and hottest in the 2018 NFL Draft. We're talking tight ends here on the program. And this is one of the guys that I think I might have walked away from this process the most impressed with, because I think with some of the guys, I already knew what I was getting into and I knew what I was told, so I knew what to look for. With Mark Andrews, I've watched him quite a bit at Oklahoma because I've watched a ton of Oklahoma football over the last 3 or 4 years with Baker Mayfield. But when I walked into this situation, when I sat down and I started watching Mark Andrews, Oklahoma tight end, I was really impressed because I thought he was a lot slower. I thought he was a lot less athletic. I knew he could catch it, but I didn't know I was getting a much better overall total package that I was getting. I thought I was getting a slow 1990s tight end, you know, a Jay Novacek type guy, you know what I mean? Not to kill Jay Novacek, but I thought I was getting one of those type of guys, not one of the new modern day tight ends. Now, is he necessarily running away from guys and separating off of sheer speed? No. But is he faster than I thought? I thought he was going to be like a 4.78 guy. No, he's not. 4.78 guy. So I was impressed with Mark. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm really impressed. I'm really high on Mark Andrews right now. And let's talk about why I'm so high on Oklahoma tight end Mark Andrews by starting with his pros. Measurables is where we start with Mark Andrews, 6'5", 256, right in that little sweet spot when you're talking about tight end size. So that right there, right off the bat, something you gotta like with Mark Andrews. Speed, something I didn't think I was gonna get with the Mark Andrews package, okay? I thought that was something that was gonna be omitted and something that I was gonna have to ding him for, and I was wrong, all right? When I saw him run at the combine, truly impressed. You watch the tape. I don't necessarily know if the tape matches up to the 4.67. I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't see that on tape, but it's there. The capability is there, and he ran away from some guys on tape. So it didn't always show up on tape, but it's there, okay? So that's something that I walked away saying, wow, I didn't know you could do that. Pass catching ability, that's something I did know he was adept at. Just watching him over the years with Baker Mayfield, he caught it a ton. Baker Mayfield probably trusted him more so than any other player on that Oklahoma receiving core. And for good reason, they've been together the longest, and he was probably the most reliable. In a 3rd and 5 situation, he knew he could give it to Andrews, he could get it to Andrews, and he would get the first down. He knew he was gonna run a responsible route and run past the sticks so that when he caught it, first down. He knew in critical situations on a 4th down, just like against Texas, late in that ball game, they're trailing. He runs a wheel route up the sideline, wide open. Mayfield hits him, runs into the end zone, game-winning score. He knew he could trust him in critical and crucial situations. So pass-catching ability, he's a guy that gets it done. High clip, too. Quickness and suddenness. This is one of the things that surprised me. I didn't see a lot of quickness and suddenness out of most of these tight ends. Goddard is a guy that I think has a chance to really utilize that more so than Hayden Hurst or Gesicki. But Andrews, he's a big guy and he doesn't look like he possesses any ounce of quickness nor suddenness. But then I watched him run a whip route versus UTEP. And I said, that just rewind it, because you don't see guys like him running whip routes. And what a whip route is it's like you're running a slant, then you stop, plant, turn, and you pivot without turning your back to the quarterback. So in essence, you're running a slant, and when that last foot hits the ground, that inside foot hits the ground, you stop, you turn, and you pivot, okay? And you go outside, and your back never turns to the quarterback. So you see him at all times. And he broke a dude off. I was like, huh. I didn't know you could do that. So I'm seeing whip routes and things of that nature, a little bit of shake at the stem of a route to shake free, and I'm like, is this the same guy that I turned on tape to watch? Mark Andrews was impressive. So I watched him with some suddenness win against UTEP, and it's UTEP, okay? But then what do you say against Texas, one of the best defenses in the Big 12, in a conference that doesn't play defense, and in Georgia, in the Rose Bowl game, in the playoffs. He did it there too, okay? So he showed off quickness and suddenness in route running ability in those games that I watched, and that's impressive. Against NFL caliber talent, against Georgia, against Texas. They got linebackers that are going to get drafted for the specific purpose of being able to run with guys in coverage, like a Roquan Smith, like a Malik Jefferson, okay? He was breaking guys off. So, impressive, to say the least. Catch radius. Mark Andrews will climb the ladder and go get the football. I watched him climb the ladder, and again, I don't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting what I got, okay? I walked away surprised. I watched him, and Baker, we know, Baker's a shorter guy, so there's times where the football's gonna sail on him just because he's a little shorter. And so there were a couple of times Baker let it go, and Mark Andrews had to go climb the ladder and go and get it, and he did, and I was impressed. Over the middle, taking a shot, and there were a couple of times I'm watching and run after the catch, okay? I'm watching Mark Andrews take sidestep guys, give guys the little okey doke with a step forward, then a jump back, almost like a jump cut of sorts. I'm like, are y'all seeing this? Am I the only one seeing Mark Andrews is doing this? Yeah, it's Mark Andrews. Same Mark Andrews that I watched that I thought was gonna be a sluggish, chain moving tight end. That's it, nothing more, nothing less. And here he is looking like an athlete. So, route running ability, in my notes, I put, he knows how to get open. And those are the guys that scare you at the next level. I mean, there's guys that, when they run routes, they're athletic and you just think they're gonna win, and then there's guys that just know how to get open. Those are the guys that scare me. The guys with athleticism, but they don't necessarily know how to set up routes, they don't scare me as much as the guy that knows how to get open. The guy that knows how to use his body to create separation. Those guys scare the hell out of me, because on 3rd and 7, on a seam ball, he's gonna bend that linebacker outside and then turn inside and create all the separation the quarterback needs to get him to rock. On that slant down in the end zone, he's gonna bend outside, give him a subtle elbow and push off with the shoulder, lean on him, and now I got you to the inside. Slant, touchdown, got him, cookies. So, he's one of those guys that's gonna win. Toughness. I see a guy that wants to block, just not very good at it. So he shows toughness there. And I saw a guy that took some shots at Oklahoma. Baker Mayfield forced him to football. For good reason. He was reliable. But he took some shots. Toughness. Tough guy. Awareness. I saw a guy that knew where the sticks were. I saw a guy that knew how to sit down in zone. I saw a guy that knew how to win against man. And I saw a guy that knew who to block in the run game and in the pass game. Again, just wasn't very good at it. But I saw a guy that was aware of his surroundings and knew what he had to do. Collegiate production. You play at Oklahoma, you play in the Big 12, you should put up big numbers, and he did. Enough said. Stamina. Again, I want my tight ends on the field as much as possible. He's one of those guys on the field as much as possible. I'm good there. Red zone threat. 22 career receiving touchdowns, the most of anybody that we're going to talk about on this show. So from that perspective, what do I need to say? And a lot of those came in the red zone. He was a huge red zone threat for Baker Mayfield. So love what he brings to the table from that standpoint as well. So there's a lot to like here with Mark Andrews. Again, I walked away more impressed than I thought I was going to be when I turned on his film. So a lot of good things here. But we go from all of the things that had me somewhat wowed to some of the cons and things he's gonna have to clean up at the next level. So blocking ability, essentially, I'll just lump the two together. Run blocking, pass blocking. I don't think that this is a necessary situation where he's not giving me effort and he's not having enough dedication to it. It's just not very good. And I think it's technical. I think it can be fixed and cleaned up. Like, I give you an example. He's a guy that I need you to move your ass, right? He wants to move his feet, but not move his ass. You know what that means? You're lunging. You can't move your feet, but your ass is still over there. But you're over here, ass is still over here, and now the guy's all the way outside. I need you to move both. That's the package deal. Ass and feet. Move together. Move them both, and you have a chance to stay in front of the guy you're supposed to be blocking. He's just not very good. It's more of a attention to detail situation where I'm just like, if he's a little bit better at fine-tuning just small things in what he's doing as a blocker, hand positioning, moving his feet and his ass, getting in proper position, good base, good, strong, solid base, just the little things. I think he'll be able to be a much better blocker because I see a guy that is willing to do what is necessary. Much like Dallas Goedert. I compare him to Goddard, a guy that will compete, just not very good right now. But with that being said, and I played the clip at the beginning of Dallas Goedert saying it, and I told you, I think it extends to every tight end with the exception of Hayden Hurst in this group. So for Andrews, I'm not going to kill him like I did Gesicki, who just seems like he didn't give a damn about blocking. Andrews wants to block better. He's just not good. So that's where we lie with him right now. In versatility, because he's not good at blocking right now, he's a liability in those situations. I don't love him in those types of situations. So essentially, you're looking at a guy that you can spread out wide, maybe in some H-back sets, but I don't even know if I'm comfortable with him being in those situations right now. Until he cleans up his blocking ability, his versatility is going to be limited. And again, that could happen fairly quickly. He could get with a coach in the offseason. As soon as he's drafted, you know, these guys get with these teams and camps like 2-3 weeks after the draft. He could easily come into one of these camps. They start sitting down watching some film on him blocking, and they start cleaning up some of those things. He's able to take that home with him and start working on some things. And then he comes back in the next mandatory camp, and all of a sudden he's a little bit better. And then by the time we get to training camp, he's a solid enough blocker that you're comfortable putting him on the field. We'll see. You know, you don't know how these things work, but in any event, a lot of times they're working on install. They're not working on technique, and that's a problem, especially for a guy like Andrews who could use technical work. But in any event, that's Mark Andrews in a nutshell. I like this guy a lot. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think he's under the radar, and I think he's a guy that, again, it's always about fit for these types of players. He gets in the right situation with the right coaching staff that's going to utilize him and teach him the fundamentals that he needs in the blocking game. He could be a really good two-way tight end. But right now, he's lacking the ability to block. So that's going to stop him from being a two-way guy right now. He's one-dimensional as we speak, but I like him a lot better than I did going into the process. That's for damn sure. But that's Mark Andrews. If you want to find out what I gave him in this process, check out the website, louietnetwork.net, for his score and some of the other scores of guys, not only in the tight end group, but that I've had a chance to look at in all the different positional groups. So check out the site, and also make sure you subscribe to this video, or this channel, excuse me. Like the video, share it. Check out the podcast, Louie T Network Podcast, and continue to help further the movement. Remember, we're changing the game, period. I'm your man, Louie T. See you next time.